Hello everyone, welcome back to the nursery. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Vicki. Guys, we're continuing on now with our painting of our baby, a darker colored skin tone baby. Mine is going to be more like a biracial, but now if you want to go darker, of course you can. So, I'm going to give you the mix before you do what I'm going to do next. On mine, I'm going to give you the mix in case you want to go with a darker flesh tone. This is dark as I'm going to do mine, guys. I'm quitting here, other than I'm doing my other stuff now, like veining, mottling, all that stuff. So, if you're going to want your baby another shade darker, we'll even go darker than that on into the series. I'll give you the mix, but now, like I said, I'm not going to do mine. But the mix on the next layer, if you decide to go a shade darker, the mix will be, of course, you'll need your half a tablespoon of thinner. That's what we use all the time. I try to keep it that way, and it's more simple, guys. You will need that. You will need 2 brushes of Flesh 03. Now, I got my little brush here, and 1 brush would be considered front and back. So you'll need 2 of those. So in other words, you'll do front and back once, front and back twice again. So that's 2 times, and a half tablespoon of thinner or mineral spirits. And you will also need 1 brush, which is front and back of this brush, of carbon black. You'll also need 1 brush of ultramarine blue. So I'll repeat it one more time so you understand. I want to make it clear for you. If you want your baby to go a shade darker than I've got mine, you will take 2 brushes of Flesh 03, 1 brush of carbon black, and 1 brush of ultramarine blue. And mix it with a half a tablespoon of odorless thinners. And you'll do it the same way we've been doing our other ones. Now, guys, you can put it on with a sponge if you like. You know, like take it when you get it all mixed up here, and you just take it and paint on your bed and then go. But for me, it left mine splotchy. Hang on just a minute, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. My dog was barking. So, yeah, that's what I was doing. Okay. As I was explaining, guys, I tried doing mine with a sponge. I got it and you put it like this on your sponge. And then you dab it like that and get it on there. Mine was winding up splotchy. I just couldn't do it that way. So I found that like I told you guys, I'm just showing you how I do mine. You do yours however you like. But this is how I do mine. It works better for me if I just do it like a wash and then pounce it off and then feather it out with a brush. I was getting like lighter spots here, darker spots there. When I was doing with a sponge, it was coming out splotchy. And I just found I can't do it that way. So I have to do it this way. But anyway, guys, if you do decide to do that next color that I gave you there, and you want yours a darker color than this, so go a little darker. After you get through painting that, putting it all over the baby, you'll let it flash off. And flash off means dry. Get it dried. Just put it on your drying rack, let it dry a few minutes, right till it dries just a few minutes. Then you bake it at 265 degrees in a regular oven, or in a New Wave, which I use a New Wave. It's a number 6, and I bake for 8 minutes. And same thing on the other oven. For 8 minutes, rotating the pieces. You bring it back out, let it cool, and then you do this, what I'm doing now. You'll pick up with what I'm doing now. So if you decide to do the other layer, go ahead and do it. Do what I told you there. Bring it out, let it cool, and then you'll continue with the layer I'm going to do. Now, the layer I'm doing, guys, is a veining layer. I'm doing the veins. Now, guys, you won't see these babies, these darker babies, you won't see the veins as well as you do in the Caucasian babies. But, you know, it still needs to be there. So I'm going to take my half tablespoon of thinner. I am also going to, now on this, we're just going to eyeball it. We're not going to put like a big brush of it. We're just going to take phthalo, I guess that's how you pronounce it, guys. I'm not sure. Phthalo blue and phthalo or phthalo, however you pronounce it, green. Now, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, guys. I'm sorry about that. But we're just going to eyeball it. I'm going to take my little brush and just put maybe the end of my brush in. And I'll tell you, if I'll tell you when I get to the right color. See how I put that on the end? Just on the end, that's that blue. We're just going to put that blue in there like that. And I hope this is not too dark. If it is, I will have to lighten it up. Okay, that's the blue. You don't want it super dark. Yeah. I'm going to do the green the same way. We're just going to put the end of our brush in it. And that's all we're going to add. Green. This green you don't think will take over that blue. But it is. It's very strong. It will. I've done it before. And that, to me, is just not enough green. So, I want to do it again. I'm going to take 2 of these in. Just the end of the brush, guys. Just like that. See that? And I want to add another green. Because it's not coming to the color that I like. Now, that's pretty good, guys. I'll show you my color. So, I just took 1 of the blue and 2 of the green. Just the end of the brush. In a half tablespoon. And I'll show you my mix. If I can get it up there, you can see it. And guys, this is going to be just wherever you want to put veins. This is just like veining on a Caucasian kit. And like I say, you're not going to see them as good, but they still need to be there. You know, you still need to have them there. So I've got my sponge I'm going to dab off with. And this is how I'm going to do my veins. Like I say, you do them however you like. But it's green, the phthalo green and phthalo blue. And I'm just going to take, and I'm going to start at the tip. What I do is start at my crown. And you want it squiggly, guys. You want that very squiggly. You know what? I don't think that's going to be dark enough for me. I'm going to have to do some more on that, because this is not showing up very well. Nope. Okay, guys, we're going a little darker. Scratch that. We're going to do it again. I'm going to put in another brush, tip of the brush, blue. Do the same thing. We're going to, just the tip of the brush. Make that a little bit darker. See how that goes. We'll do 1 more of the green and see how that looks. It's got to be a little darker than that. It's not dark enough. It's not going to show up if you don't at all. You don't want it to show up real big, but you do want it to show up some. We'll take another brush of the green. Tip of the brush. We'll do 2 of those like we done the last time of the green. And that should bring us back to the color we was at, other than it'll be darker. This I just eyeball, guys. I really don't have a... See that color? It's pretty dark. But I want it pretty dark because I want it to show up on this baby, but not... You know what I mean? Okay, now what we're going to do is... I'll show you how I do this. I will swirl it around. I mean, I'll get it stirred up good, right? I want it stirred up good. Then I'm going to find something to prop this on. Maybe this where it'll tilt the bowl. See my bowl? How it's tilted? Each time you want to swirl this around, make sure your paint's all stirred up. Then we're going to tilt the bowl. And then I'm going to go up here and get what's up here. What's left up here on the bowl, the top of it. Kind of rake it off. Let's try her and see how she goes. Yes, that's better. And you want squiggly lines. And I come like maybe like this. Maybe off here. See that? And then go back up to the top. You might want to swirl it around again. Swirl it around in your bowl. Make sure it's mixed. Tip it up to where you can go up here on the top where it's left a little bit there on the top. You're going to come over here to this side and do the same thing. And I always start from the crown of the head. Oops, sorry, I hope I'm in the frame for you guys. Got a little speck there. I'll get it out in a minute. And I just make little old squiggly lines here and there. That didn't do too good. Try that again. There we go. See? See that? We'll swirl it around again. Pick up what's left up there at the top. Break it off a little bit. Then I come in between the eyes right here, like at the eye, the point of the eye here. And then I go up from there. That didn't show up good. There we go. Make it squiggly. And then I'm going to come in this corner of the eye and go up and meet that. And you see where that got a little bit in there, in that eye? Just that socket. Take another brush. Just take and get that out where it puddled there. I didn't rake my brush off. That's what happened. But see, I'm going to... And these, you may not have to even pounce these. They're so light. But we will see. But, you know, when we get through, we'll see how it comes out. Now, guys, veins is to your own preference. You know, if you've done a baby, then you know how to do veins. How you like your veins. You just have to do however you like your veins. And I will come back here to the top of the head and kind of meet up there and come down and meet that line there. See that? Just like that. Now I'm going to take a cosmetic wedge, a clean cosmetic wedge. You don't want to leave it just like that, guys, especially this got a little bit dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and go in here, like I told you, in these, if I can find a brush, guys. Sorry about that. Here we go. I'm going to take this brush right here, and I'm just going to go right in here so it don't puddle. You don't want it puddled in the corner of the eyes. And if you got a little bit of blue in the corner of the eyes, it won't hurt a thing. But you don't want it just to puddle up. So then we're going to kind of take some of that off. You still want it there, though. You want it to be seen, but you just don't want it to be really, really, really dark. You know, it's just real subtle. It's just a real subtle veining. You can keep going over it as many times as you need to. If it's still too dark like this, that's a little too dark for my taste, I will take some thinner on a sponge and kind of go over it that way and pounce it with that. Now the sides didn't get too dark, so I can just go over and pounce them like that. And kind of pounce them in there to where they're seen, but they're like subtle, under the skin looking. See that? Yeah. Do that. And this right here is a little bit to my liking, too much. So I'm going to take my thing here and go over it like that. Get it all sifted out there. Sifted out. I don't know, guys. Anyway, you know what I mean. But see how it looks? You can barely see it, but it's there. I hope you can see it in the camera. It's there, but you can just barely see it. And then I'll just go over it a little and make sure. Now, guys, I will tell you another thing. If it don't show up as much as you want it to, once you do this, you can take that same brush and go over it again. Let's see, we better swirl our stuff, make sure it's mixed. Yeah. And you can go right back over that again. That's not doing good. Sometimes I don't want to pick up the color, guys, on these darker babies. You have to kind of work with it to get it to come in. I just make my lines, guys, however I like to make them. Just make sure they're squiggly. You can make lines off from lines. You can, you know, it's just whatever you prefer. Veins are everybody's own little preference, however they do their veins, you know, and I'll leave that there. Maybe I didn't leave it long enough to get in there, maybe what happened. And then I'll come back and try to get them pretty dark. And then I'll come back over and kind of straighten them out. Okay, you can see that now, I'm sure. But I'll come back and take some of that out. Alright, now we're going to do some on the back. And I kind of connect, guys. All up in here is what I do. That's how I do mine. I just kind of connect them all together. Then we'll come down something like this, towards the ear maybe. That didn't do good. I don't like that one, so we're going to take that one back off. See, that's the good thing about it. Before you heat set it, you can always just go back and put what you want. Well, let's see here. Maybe there. And I'm going to come down to the back. Now, a lot of times, guys, these babies has hair that goes over all these veins, and you really don't see them. But I don't know, guys. I still put them in. It's just, I guess, knowing they're there. Put one over here. One over there. See? Just like that. That's how I do mine. See? That's your veins. Now, I'll take my sponge, and I'll go back over these, and I'll kind of lighten them up. Because you don't want them super dark, but you do want them to be seen. They won't be seen as much, as I said, like in the Caucasian babies. This I'm going to blend. You can also do this with a brush if you wish. I just feel better with blending these with my sponge. It just seems to me it blends them better for me for some reason. Now you can see after it's blended, see how that looks. I'm going to go to this side. I didn't put any more out here, so I'm not going to worry about that. See how dark, though, it looks there, and just, you know, looks like it's been painted on. So we'll just blend it. I'll just go into that, soften it up. Don't rub real hard because you take it all off. Just, you know, kind of soften up those lines. They're still there, but you're just softening them up a little bit. See? It kind of like it just fades right back into the skin. Go over these backwards the same way. Now, like I say, a lot of these babies will have hair and you won't even see these in the scalp. But I go ahead and put them in there anyway, guys. Don't ask me why. It's just, I don't know. Just knowing they're there, I guess. It's just a little quirk of mine. I don't suppose you'd have to if you didn't want to, though. Because you're going to have hair over there. You're not going to see them anyway. But now, I will say if you have light hair, a blonde-haired baby, put them in there is nice. Because you can see through the blonde hair some. Usually the dark hair, though, you can't really see them. But that's okay. We're going to put them in there anyway. So there's the head. Now I'm going to put it over here and let it flash off or dry. But it mostly is anyway because I took some of it off with that. And we're going to go to a leg. Right here. We're going to swirl it around. I know everybody's been waiting on this next step, guys. And I'm really sorry I haven't got back to doing it. But as I've told you, it's just hit and miss for me anymore these days, guys, because I got the baby. And I just have to do whenever, like that, see? Whenever I can. That's how I do it now. It's hard for me to get the painting done. Anybody's interested, I did do a video on her yesterday, on Raven. It's the first time, well, actually the second time I've had her out since having her. See that? And she is 2 months old. So I figured it's about time I made another video. And I had got some Happy Mail from Callie's room. She had sent me for Raven. So I thought, well, that would be a great time, you know, to do another video on her. Because I hadn't had her on since we'd got her. And she's 2 months old now. So I thought, well, that'd be a wonderful time. And I just kind of connect these down in here, guys, from like in between the toes. I put one like, I like having it in between the toes, just like that. And then I'll come up the front of the leg a little bit, like that. And that's about all I'm going to do for the feet. And you can, like I say, you can use a sponge or you can use your brush. Kind of just dab over it, blend it with a brush. It's up to you. I would rather use this. It works better for me, the sponge. And kind of blend all that in. Don't rub it off. Don't rub so hard you're taking it all off. You just want to lightly. Like this. Just to blend it in some. To where it's not so obvious, you know. And then, like I say, after you bake, you can bake this. If it doesn't look like it's dark enough to your liking, you can always add another layer on top of what you got. So that's no problem. Sometimes it's hard to get these darker ones to show up very well because of the darker tone. Now, there's a leg. And I will put that over here and let that flash off. And I'll show you arm. And then we'll do as always, guys. I'll finish mine up. You can finish yours up. We'll bake. And we will then let it cool. And we'll go on with our next step. But those of you that chose to do a darker color, like that one much, take that off. Didn't get squiggly enough for my liking, guys. But if you do that darker color, you go ahead and do that darker color. Then you come back to the veins. After you do that, let it cool. You come back to these veins, okay? That'll be your next step if you do the darker color. Do your darker color, then come back to these veins. And to put this in. So I'm just going to put them where I think they need to go. I always like try to put it like in between the fingers, the thumb, come up and meet all together. Didn't turn out too dark there. I'll leave that a little while because I don't like the way that wound up on my arm. So I'm going to take it off, guys. And I will bring these all together in one line. That's what I wanted to do. And I put 2 or 3 lines there, and I didn't want that. Still not squiggly enough. Let's try it one more time. Third time's a charm, guys. Okay, there we go. See? Then we'll turn it over on the arm. Oh, I've done that, I'm sorry. We got it there. And there's an arm. So, guys, I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go over it, you know, like I showed you there before. I'm going to do my other arm and my other leg. And I'm going to let it flash off, and then I'll kind of go over it with my sponge to lighten it up some, you know, you're blending it in is what you're doing, guys. You're blending it in. And so I'm going to do my other leg. You do the same. I'll do my other arm and hand, and then I will meet you back here. And we will go on to our next layer. It will be different, guys. Our next layer is going to be different, so tune in for that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell a friend that we're painting over here and ask if they would like to come and paint along with us. And if they, of course, haven't been watching, they can go back and watch the other videos and catch up. And, yeah, so tell a friend that what we're doing over here. And we are making a biracial to a AA baby. Reborn baby painting one. So I appreciate that. And, yeah, if you could do that for me, that'd be great. And so, I'll see you guys in another video soon. And I'm going to finish this up, and you do the same, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, guys, ring the notification bell so you get all the notifications on this painting series. And if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up like button. That helps me out a little bit, guys, so I'd appreciate that if you'd do it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, all of you guys. I appreciate all of you. Much love to you all, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye-bye.